What's happening? What's happening? What's going on, man? We're gonna jump right into it, man. This is your boy E. Smith with another episode of Universal Thought Podcast, where we share universal concepts, ideas, and thoughts. You did from all different levels. So I am your handsome host and your favorite neighbor's neighbor and your favorite credit guru. You did, man. Listen, I'm having a lot of fun with this podcast and stuff, man. Even though I'm a busy person, listen, I do a lot. You already know it's a whole lot to deal with when you're dealing with credit. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing credit for about 4 years now. I've been having my own company for about 2 years, right? So I help people all across the country, all 50 states with anything going on with their credit. And I'm able to get all that, inaccurate and obsolete information off the credit so they can basically be able to get, close to, if not above a 700 as soon as possible, right? So that's my full time, company business right there. Soon I'll be, I have my real estate license, so that's gonna be something else under my belt. But this podcasting thing was something that it just kind of came to me. I ain't gonna say it fell in my lap, but again, I watch podcasts so much. That's all I do is watch podcasts all day. I listen to podcasts, watch podcasts all day, right? I barely listen to music. Like I really like rarely listen to music. Like I really never listen to music at all. You see what I'm saying? All I listen to podcasts because I like the idea of just having conversation. So that was, that what prompted me to have my own platform so I can express my own opinions. And I got a lot of good interviews coming, man. People are already kind of familiar with me through, the credit thing. I'm the best person in Memphis doing this whole credit thing. So people know me from that. And yeah, man, I just want to, have I want to talk about something actually, man. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and we was talking about being strategic and having to struggle, right? And what I mean by that is, like, I personally believe that it's hard to be strategic when you in survival mode. Like, think about it. Like when you in survival mode, you're only thinking about your next meal or how to get something done right then. You know how to how to survive through this struggle that I'm dealing with at the moment. You feel what I'm saying? So a lot of people are in survival mode when they have the lack of funds, they have the lack of resources. They don't have many really a whole lot of things to like pull on to the, you know what I'm saying, to kind of give them some breathing room, right? They don't have really many resources. I remember let me tell you something. When you struggling, it's not fun. It's not fun at all. And what I mean by that is, it's like you wake up every day thinking about the same thing every day, like every day, and that's just not fun, right? If money is your issue, you're gonna wake up thinking about money every single day. You're gonna wake up thinking about, if it's bills, you're gonna wake up thinking about bills every day. If you wake up with a problem like court, like let's say you got a trial coming up, or ish, you gotta wake up thinking about that every day. Every day. It consumes your thinking. It consumes your mind. You feel what I'm saying? You have no time to strategize. See, strategy, let me tell you something. People with money, people that have businesses, and people that's successful, they know how to strategize. They use strategy. It's everything is a strategy. If you want to actually like build a path for yourself to get to a common goal, it's a strategy. But I'm gonna tell you something. When you struggling, and when you got too many distractions around you, you can't strategize. It's damn near impossible. I'm gonna be honest with you. So we was having this conversation, man, and just something like that, just that concept alone, it gets people to understand that as many things that you have in your life that's like either you know you put it there or it just so happened to fall in your lap. Most of the things in your life are distractions. If they're not there to benefit you and add value to your life, they're a distraction. You feel what I'm saying? I done got to the point where I know how much distractions like really affect your normal everyday life. You know what I'm saying? Let me look in this camera right here. Let me tell you something. For those of you that know me, they know that I'm not gonna answer the phone during certain times of the day. I'm not gonna listen to no long drawn out problems, especially if it's in the middle of the day. Cause think about it. I do credit. I have to listen to problems all day long. You feel what I'm saying? I gotta literally listen to this all day. So if somebody call me and they want to talk about something, I don't just necessarily just shut you out. I'm not gonna just shut you out. But I am gonna tell you, hey man, I ain't really got time for this because this sounds like this gonna be a 2-3 hour long conversation. You feel what I'm saying? So I just can't. It's a distraction. You feel what I'm saying? And the only reason why you calling me about your problem is because you got too many distractions. Your problem is a distraction, and if you got a distraction that's distracting you every day, your distraction now is about to become my distraction. Now you distracting me with your distraction. You got to learn how to tell people no, man. You got to learn how to tell people no. I'm sorry, but you gotta. You got to. You got to learn how to tell people no. And that was just like, just the conversation alone was, it reminded me more and more of how I need to continue to eliminate distractions. Because I just had a real estate exam, man, and let me tell you something. I failed the exam, not big time. I actually passed the state part, but I failed the national part by like a few points, right? And I didn't go into it confident. I really didn't go into it real confident because I know I didn't study the way I needed to. I studied for a long time, but I didn't study the right way. You know what I'm saying? Like I really didn't. I didn't put in like the hours. I put in a lot. Trust me, I put in a lot of hours. But when you're dealing with a real estate exam, right? That's something that you really need to focus on, and you need to get rid of all distractions. Like you can't play around with no real estate exam. So I went in and I wasn't really confident, but I gotta. But one thing about me, man, I don't let nothing defeat me. So I rescheduled it, and by the 24th, I know I'll be prepared for it. 24th of April, that's when I take my next exam, and I know I'll be prepared for it. And I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna ace that thing, and we gonna be rocking and rolling with this real estate. You did what I'm saying? I just love to stay busy, man. I love to stay busy. I do. I love it. I love having a whole lot of things going on because it's when you love what you do. Again, you would do it for free, but again, when you're gaining, when you have a monetary gain off the things that you love to do and you're independent, you can work on your own time, your freedom. Your freedom is just my freedom, rather, because some people look towards entrepreneurship for different reasons. And me personally, I want to be free. That's my whole thing. My freedom is the most important thing to me. You did what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I want to be able to retire early. I want to retire my, soon to be wife. I want to retire my mom. I want to retire, you don't want to be by yourself. It's just like getting to the top by yourself. You don't want to be there by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to be there by yourself. You want people that you love to be there with you, to enjoy the fruits of, your labor, and everybody just being comfortable. To a certain extent, I do feel like, you can't take everybody with you, but on the other hand, you do want some people there with you, especially people you familiar with. You don't want to be there with all new faces. You want to be there with some people that you love. And you know what I'm saying? I don't have very many people that I don't have very many people that I personally will, call myself be around all day, but I do have a few people in my life that I talk to every day, and I feel like, are going to be there for me and with me throughout whatever, situation I got going on. So, but yeah, man, so that was, again, just, not, you can't strategize. And strategy takes a lot of thinking. Strategy takes some downtime for you to be able to gather your thoughts. When you on a time schedule and you got to get something done by a certain time or a certain deadline. Think about you trying to scramble for money, and your light bill due at 5 o'clock. If you don't be paid it by 5 o'clock, your light's gonna get cut off. Think about the mental hardship you got to go through all day just to figure out how I'm gonna get this money, especially if it's a lot of money. Like, and you don't want to be without lights. You got kids. Just think about that for a minute. Let's just think about that for a minute. Think about knowing that if I don't hurry up and get this money, my lights is going to get cut off. And you know, when they cut your lights off, they charge you more money to get them turned back on. So this is just too much of a problem, man. Don't nobody want to deal with all that, right? Eliminate those problems, and that's why I say people put more on they self. You'll put more on yourself than you can actually bear, and you look back and you realize that most of this stuff was done because of your poor decisions. Now, let me be honest with you. I'm a financial guy. Like I'm a financial like coach. So I have to be honest with people when it comes to stuff like financial literacy and what you did and how you didn't pay your bills and stuff. I have to be honest with people when it comes to this stuff, man. I have to. Because I mean, if I don't, then they're gonna make the same mistakes, and I got to be in. And that's kind of the problem. They don't have nobody in their life to actually be honest with them, and shoot the truth to them. And I'm a straight shooter. I shoot from the hip. So all the things that you felt like you needed in your life, you wanted, you bought all this stuff, accumulated all these bills, and now you trying to figure out how to maintain all this stuff, and you about to lose it all because you're trying to hoard a whole lot of stuff you can't afford. Man, we got to get out of that mentality. I'm telling you, we got to get out of that mentality. It just don't make sense to be constantly trying to figure out how to attain all this bullshit we don't need, instead of getting things that's of quality and value, that adds value, right? Something that you can actually trade for monetary value at some point, but like land and a home and things that's going to appreciate in value, rather than just buying a whole lot of stuff that look like you add value to yourself when you're really not. You actually individually are depreciating in value because you done bought all this shit that it's not worth nothing on the streets. So my thing is, make sure when you get some money in your pocket, start thinking about what can I do? What can I do to make me more money? Not what can I spend my money on, but what can I do to make more money? Like seriously. What can I do? Like seriously. What can I actually do to make some more money? I mean, just as simple as that. What can I invest my money in that I think gonna make me money? And guess what? If you don't know, ask somebody. Stop being so proud. Stop going around people, with this attitude like, yeah, I got some money in my pocket now, and you only want to spend money because you want to show out in front of people that don't really like. They don't like you, bro. They don't like you, and they sure don't like you because you got money, because you ain't never had money. You just so happen to come up on a bag, whether it's tax money or you did a lot of overtime. You did what I'm saying? Man, listen. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to be independent, owning my own business, making my own schedule, so I can do something like this, so I can actually do something that is expressive. I mean, I built the whole podcast from the ground up because it's something I wanted to do. And I wanted to see where it could take it, but I needed time to do that. I needed the room to do that, and I needed to strategize with everything that I do. I need to be, I can't, constantly having problems on my head on a daily basis. Man, I done been through that too much. I done been through that. Man, listen, I done seen the worst of the worst. I done had some bad days in my life, buddy. I'm talking about some terrible days. I'm talking about some days when I think on it like now, like right now, like being in the cold when my lights was cut off. And I was like, and I'm talking about like, I remember this time I was staying with my sister, right? And the lights got cut off in the middle of winter. We didn't have lights for, if I can remember, I think it was like damn near 2 weeks. We didn't have lights because the light bill was so high. I mean, the light bill was like $1,500, $2,000, and we just didn't have like no money at the time. She had her job wasn't her paying her much, and I was between jobs. It was and I was already staying with her, so I was already struggling. I'm trying to get me another car, and all these problems. Didn't have transportation. Didn't have a good paying job, right? Now I know I'm not. Now, one thing I want to put on the record is I'm not a complainer. I don't complain. I do not complain. Anybody that know me that'll tell you, no, that Eric don't complain. Eric ready to get to the solution. I ain't got time to complain. I don't have time for it. It's time to get to it. It's time to figure out how we gonna get this done. So man, listen. But yeah, at that time, man, I'm talking about it. It was about a good 2 weeks. So and mind you, we don't have hot water either. It's cold water. So being in the cold, having to take cold showers, man, y'all just don't understand. You have to adapt to having the lack thereof. You got to get used to. Now I'm going to sleep with 4 5 coats on. You feel what I'm saying? I'm having to take a cold shower. I'm talking about it's piercing. It's like if you never took a cold shower before, you know what I'm talking about. A cold one, like you anticipating that water hitting you, like you hit that water hit your head, man. You like, babe, come on, man. This ain't life. This can't be. And we in the hood. So my sister stayed in the hood. My sister just damn near stayed in the hood all her life. And that was like the last place I wanted to go, but that was the only place I had to go. Right. But I love my sister. She let me stay with her. We finally got things together. We went our separate ways, and life just happens. And now, in a much better place. I've been that again. That's just one of many. They're just one of many. I think let's see. I remember when I got put out my house. I got evicted from my apartment. I had lost my job. I got evicted. Now, if you've never been evicted, let me tell you what happens when you get evicted. So first of all, you don't know you finna get you finna get evicted because they send you an eviction notice, right? Then you get a court date. All right. So if you don't come to any type of agreement with the courts and all that, by the time it's time to pay up, then at some point the sheriff gonna come to your door and they gonna have a few little guys with them to clean all clean your house out. Yeah, that's what happened to me. So yeah, I didn't mean to do that. That wasn't the right one. Was that the right one? I guess it was, because it's funny now, but it wasn't funny then. It wasn't funny then. Real talk, man. So let's see. So what happens is they come to your door. They knock on. Now I'm literally just like waking up. They come early in the morning. They don't wait until late afternoon. They come early in the morning, and they knocking on your door. Don't. So I'm waking up like, man, what the hell knocking on my door? Man. Bruh. So I get up, I look out the peephole, I see it's the sheriff, but I don't know it's the eviction people, because this is the okay. I think that's the only time I've been evicted. So I look out, I'm thinking like the police is outside for a reason, or maybe I got a warrant. I don't know. I don't know what's really going on. But when I see the other little 2 guys, when I open up the door and I see the other little 2 guys, I already knew what time it was. Eric, man, this is eviction day. We got to get you out of here. And I don't even remember what they said. All I heard was get out. That's all I heard. That's all I remember is get your ass out. When I tell you these folks cleaned my apartment out, I'm talking about literally in about 10 to 15 minutes. They cleaned it out, everything. Do you know how long it takes to move? Do you understand the when you moving most of the time, you don't even know how much stuff you got until you actually start moving. So looking at all the stuff you got when you move, that's what take the move longer, because you like, damn, you start lagging. Man, them folk came and cleaned my apartment out in 10 minutes. I couldn't believe it. I said, damn, you know what? When I do move, I need to get some, come on, man. Them little Mexicans be getting it in, man. Come on, man. We're not gonna play crazy. They got it in. They claimed me out in 10 minutes. I was impressed. I was also pissed off. So that's another thing, man. Now you got to figure out, and I think every time I was in a situation like that, I also end up getting my car towed, my car repo. My car got repo a week before. Then I got evicted. So now I ain't got no car. I ain't got no. I'm all my stuff is out on the street, right? All my stuff is out on the street. I ain't got no car. My mama came pick me up. And it was just the most, I mean, it's the most embarrassing thing. So now in your head, you got to figure out, you like, I just lost everything just like that. I just lost everything just that fast. Now I got to figure, now I have to start over. And this is what has, I got to think about this every day for however long it takes for me to get back on my feet. That's not a good feeling, people. It's just not. And I tell this story to say this. This is probably one of the first subjects that I'm gonna like mention whenever I'm like, podcasting or whatever the case may be, but because I know it's important and people need to hear it. Don't, especially if you got kids. And I don't have kids, so it was just me and I struggled the way I did. So and I do feel like I made a lot of unwise decisions. I made a lot of decisions that just put me in it. I waited too long to really act on what I need to do. Once I lost a job, I waited too long to get another one, thinking a little money gonna carry me over. Like it just, you make decisions, and it's like, bro, do you really think life is holding on for you to like get your life together, for you to, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you really believe this? Are you really this naive to really think life is stopping just because you're going through something? No, life is still going on. You're still aging. The bill collectors still want their money. You still got to pay rent, and you still got to like eat and have shelter over your head. So what are you doing? Like, I'll never go a day without thinking about my next move ever. Like I'm always at 39. I'll be 40 next month. But I'm always thinking 10 steps ahead. You got to. It's just, as much as I want to have all the fun in the world, man, listen, I'm having the most fun I've ever had in my life on a consistent basis, because every day is a Friday to me now. I'm not bragging I'm not rich. I'm just in a comfortable space where my business is running itself. And now I'm able to jump into other lanes and create other avenues of income for myself and do things and go on vacations and, have brunch and do things throughout the day that I would normally have to wait till the weekend to do. That's the freedom you want. You feel what I'm saying? Go and network with other people, shoot videos, do the things that I love every day. Because I really do believe that waking up every day and having to go to somebody's plantation, it's just like, think about it. You spend all your time making somebody else rich. You spend all your time trying to make a living, but you're literally making somebody else's, rich. Like you paying for somebody's tuition when your kids not even, you don't even have enough money to pay for your own kids to go to college. Think about this. You got to pay. You got to go to work every day and slave and pay somebody else's tuition. But you got to hope and pray your kids get a scholarship so that they can go to college. And if they don't get it, you don't have the money to send them. Just want that to kind of settle in. Just settle in for a second. I don't know why I keep pressing that. Yeah, that wasn't the right one either, but we're going to let it rock. There we go. That's the one I was looking for. So just think about that for a minute. Let's just kind of like, yeah. So yeah, man, that's not a good, just the thought of it is like, you gotta, some people are okay with it. If you're okay with the thought of it, irritate some people. Some people don't even take the time to think about it. If they did, they would take different approaches in their life. They'll take different routes, do different things, right? But me personally, I got to thinking about me getting up every day, doing the same thing every day. Every day. Every day. You getting up doing the same thing every day. Same time. Somebody else makes my schedule. Somebody else tell me when to go to break, go to lunch, when I can eat, when to go home, when to get up. Somebody controls my schedule. I don't even have control of my own schedule. I don't have control of my own life. Man, you got to let that marinate for a minute. Just let that. Gotta let that marinate. Gotta let that marinate for a minute, man. Gotta let that marinate for a minute, cause I'm telling you, it's been 4 years, and I've been, you know, uh, independently working for myself. Right. I have a wonderful team. I own a company. I have a wonderful team that is, making a way from them for themselves too. And that's another thing. I want to be able to provide opportunities for other people to be able to go, get their independence back too. It ain't just for me, man. I want to, like, when you want to be able to be around people that also have the same freedom as you. Otherwise, you got to wait for everybody to get off work. Just think about that. Or you the only one got money. Ain't nobody got no money. So you got to either pay everybody away, or y'all just ain't going nowhere. Or you don't want to go, or you can't go to places that you want to go. Right. So it's just, it's, you can see it in other cultures. You can see how all of them, you know, they get together. They all on the same level. They all are presidents of the same company, or they all are entrepreneurs, or they all own a business. They all go to the same places, and they all get to spend time with each other. And but we can't do that. We can only do it on the weekend when everybody off. We can only do it when it's somebody's birthday, and we got to take off of work and take vacation time and get points and lie and tell them somebody died in your house in the family, and now you taking a bereavement day. The stuff we do to try to make some sense out of our lives is crazy to me, man. Just the things that we have to do. Just man, it's funny because I'm thinking about the times I did it. You gotta you